Hello there, I'm Gitte Madelager, and this is not a standard leadership channel. I'm here to disrupt how you think about leadership. Because the old leadership model is broken, and you probably know it already. In this episode, we will talk about that fear is not a strategy. I am the author of Energetic Leadership, the book, and I'm also the creator of the Energetic Leadership model. So let's start. And I want to start with a question for you. And the question is, when did you last time make a decision, a real one, without fear in you or in the room? I just gave you some space, a little bit of space to just sense, feel, maybe see in front of you what was happening in that particular room. Because fear is both very subtle, but also very strong. So today we are going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about what fear is, how fear is part of the old leadership model, and how a new leadership model can be without fear, or what it's built on. So in my book on page 115, I have a chapter on the nervous system. And why is that in a leadership model? Because everything is down to our nervous system. Even our immune system is affected by how our nervous system operates. And our nervous system is divided into, to simplify it, into two different areas. One thing is the sympathetic nervous system. That's the part of us that is getting scared if we see a tiger, or if some burglar is coming after us. We get scared and we start to run. So it is very natural, and this is what we're built for, to use when we are in danger, when we are in fear of something that is real fear. So it is natural that we use our sympathetic nervous system in these occasions. Then we have our parasympathetic nervous system, which is another kind of restoring what has just happened after we ran from the tiger. We have to sort of restore our body back to some kind of calmness. So the nervous system is able to sort of shift from these two different parts of the nervous system. So one thing is to run, and the other one is to restore. So our nervous system is with us all the time. You can sense it, you can feel it, you can see it in your actions, and you can also try and believe that it's part of your real world. We will come back to that one. So fear is with us every single second of our lives. So it's in our daily lives, it's with us at home, it is with us at work, it is with us all the time. And it is really here to look after us. So the question is, are you looking after your nervous system? In the old leadership model, we have, and we could say, what is the old leadership model? The old leadership model is where we are very much focused on humans being a resource in organization. It is very much about optimization, being efficient. We've seen that throughout the industrialization, throughout also the knowledge era. But we're seeing some difficulties with that old leadership model. Because what is it it's built on? It's really built on fear. Fear of not being able to do as well as you should do as an employee, fear as a leader or a decision maker, not being able to make the right decisions, not being able to fulfill the budget, not being able to deliver the goods on time. It is very much a model that is based on fear, that is the driving force of making people, customers, employees do what they both should do, but what they are told to do, and also what we think is the best thing. Because it's also back down to our own inheritage, our own way of being brought up as humans, our culture, our structure, our systems, the whole way that we talk. Even when we raise our children, we start scolding them already when they are 2 to 3 years old. No, you should not do that. I'll count to three until, if you don't behave after three, something will happen. Or we all know these ways of raising the next generation. And we have also had a lot of talks about what is good and what is not good. But that doesn't leave us fearless. We still have that fear because our structures, our systems, our whole way of being, our traditions, our habits are built on fear. So I'm not really pinpointing at this, this person or this system is causing it and is to blame, and because it is not a blame game. A blame game is really also what the old leadership model was about. But we are at a point in revolution or evolution, it's also a revolution, in the evolution where we need to do something differently. And we worked it out a bit because we did introduce 3 bottom lines in companies. So we have gone from 1 bottom line to 3 bottom lines. So we have an economical bottom line, we have a social bottom line, and we have an environmental bottom line. The issue with the bottom line is that we have difficulties in being so good at looking after the 2 others. We are very good at looking after the economical one. We become a little bit too greedy. So we forget to think about the social one, the human one, and also the environmental one with the biodiversity and looking after nature and all that. So, and especially when you then have a lot of rupture, as we see in the countries around the world nowadays. So we have an old leadership model that does not work anymore. And the other reason why it doesn't work is that we see people getting more and more sick. And you might say, okay, well, that's not true because we have seen a lot of prosperity and so forth. Yes, we have over the last many decades and also the last centuries. But with an increase in productivity and efficiency, and also technology coming and AI coming, we have, as humans, met our limit in what we're able to, take in and to digest. So the physical part of our body is affected, our mental part of our body is affected, and also our, what I call, spiritual part of our body is affected, or our soul. So I have a saying that the body is actually quite slow and the mind is faster, and the soul, our deep down heart, is lightning fast. So when a body is stressed, our soul leaves the body because it's not a good thriving ground for being there. So, and when our soul leaves us, it is really, really difficult for us to gain the right direction. And it's difficult because our nervous system is alert all the time. So what is happening to modern people right now is that our nervous system is at a very high level. So you might find that, okay, I have a good life, and yes, but how is your nervous system doing? And do you have maybe some issues with illnesses, or have you even had burnout, which is in some degree a good thing because that is a way of saying that you are healthy, in brackets, because your system is actually telling you, no, this is the limit, and try and look after yourself and find a new way. So we are seeing a lot of these issues with ourselves, with our relatives, with our employees, that we are struggling as humans in order to keep up with everything that we have to do. So one thing is the particular, that one person, but when you look at it in a whole organization, it is exactly the same thing. So how is the organization thriving? Is the nervous system at a very, very low level? So are people leaving you? Are the sick leave high? Are they having lots of conflicts? Is it difficult to make the right decisions because people are stressed and they take the wrong decisions, and then you have to redo them? And so a calm nervous system is very, very efficient in a business way of leading, because it will create much more healthy environments, and it will then create innovation, it will create drive, it will create engagement, and so forth. So the old leadership model is definitely broken, and people, they know it. They might not act on it, but a lot of people know it, and they are struggling to try and find a way to sort of reinvent themselves in a world that is in between an old leadership model and a new leadership model. And here you have a very good choice to be the one building the new organization that is meant for humans, and where you involve humans in doing it. So the new leadership model is already here because it is sort of happening. Some startups might be able to do it straight away. Some big corporations are trying to reinvent from the inside. And it's just like cleaning up in your house or anything. You can actually start by doing it. You don't have to sort of break down the whole organization and then start again. You can clean up from the inside. And the same thing with a whole society. So this is also a leadership model that ties in with how is it that we want our own countries to be. Do we have healthy leadership models in politics, in our public environments organization, and in our private organizations? This is really a strategy that could be named Be Healthy. And it's not being healthy in the way that, now I eat an apple and then I'm healthy. It is so fundamental. It is all the way down to our own nervous system. So, fear, two different ways. The sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Our old leadership model is broken. Yes. So what does the new look like? The new leadership model is built on what I called two legs. In order to understand what this whole nervous system sort of leans on, it leans on our energy. And that is why I call my book Energetic Leadership. And I also call the model Energetic Leadership Model. Because everything is energy. It is physics, it is quantum physics. It is something that now that we can measure it, start to believe it has always been there. There's nothing new about it. But for some reason, we always want to have evidence in the modern world. In the very ancient world, we believed it intuitively. And that is where it comes down to, the two legs. We have built an old leadership model on energies from only what I call the one leg, the right leg, representing the right side of the body. So it's the masculine energy. So it's where we are productive, we take responsibility, we drive, we do things. It's human doing side of us. But for centuries, we have put away the other part of the human being, and that is the left side, the intuitive side of us. So if you only have a leadership model and you only live and lead with only half of yourself, then you feel disconnected. It doesn't feel quite right. Something is missing. It's not that you cannot do it. We've done it. And people have had lives, and I'm not ditching any of them because we are here to constantly learn. And now we have to learn or relearn to add our intuitive part of us to the leadership model. And it starts with ourselves. So we have to add our intuitive wisdom. And that is where we get ourselves in a place where we can reflect, where we can improvise, where we can also be more caring. And all these things have been related to maybe more feminine or for women to do. But these kind of energies live in all humans, whether you are a man or you are a woman. So even if I call them masculine energy and the intuitive or the feminine energy, it has nothing to do with gender. Yes, we could say that female or women have a little bit better understanding of the feminine side, and we could say that men have a little bit better understanding of the masculine side, but we still have both energies, and it is energies. So if we try and lock something up, we will not thrive, and we will become sick eventually, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So a new leadership model is built on the understanding of what energy is, and that energy actually leads us. It leads us in the way that we see things, sense things, listen to them, hear them, understand them, and then finally believe in them. Because a very crucial part of still having your soul, your deep down heart in you, and you treasure it, is that you are able to believe what it's telling you. So we actually get the answers. Of course, we get answers from data and AI and reports and all that. That is all the masculine thing. But we also need to have the data, in brackets, data, intuitive data, from our intuitive selves. And we need that because until now, we have based a leadership model, an old leadership model, on our consciousness that is primarily sort of, we call it also the top of the iceberg. It is our rational knowledge. It is what sits in our head. It's all our reports, models, and all the science we can think of and all that. It's knowledge that we know, rational knowledge. It's our consciousness. If we lock ourselves away from what is underneath of the iceberg, we are not true to ourselves. We don't get the potential up to the surface. And we have a huge potential, actually more or less 95%. It's our intuitive power. It's our creation, our creativity, our innovation that we can drag on or draw on from our subconsciousness. So the new leadership model is very, very different from the old leadership model. We could say that the old leadership model is head-based. We think that we can figure everything out, and we cannot. And the new leadership model is that we understand that everything is energy, that we need to walk on two legs. We need to use both our masculine and our feminine energy. And we understand that this is from that focal point that we create organizations, business models, operating models, customer journeys, customer deliveries, new business models with 3 bottom lines. Because people are changing right now. They are disrupting. You might think that everything is to do with geopolitics, with AI, and with other kind of things that relates to sort of the old world way of thinking. But try and look at all the subtle trends when it comes to people. So the new leadership model is built for people to thrive in, to be creative, to engage in. So it's very much about mutual involvement, engagement. You can also see results from the Gallup, the global research company, that engagement is coming down and down and down. So we have to do something different. The issue is when we are standing here with our legs, one leg in the old leadership model and one leg trying to build the bridge over to the new one, is that of course there's a lot at stake for shareholders, for owners, for employees. Yes. But try and listen within yourself and decide whether you want to stay with the old leadership model or you want to try and change, transform, not just yourself, but your whole organization to a new leadership model. What you will find out, not just with yourself, but also with the organization, is that when we are in balance and our nervous system becomes calmer and calmer, things become easier. So being in that sort of more calmness, more balanced way, you will become unstoppable in a healthy way. You are not trying to force things through, but they will just happen, just like you see water flowing. It always finds its way. So you could also say that we're shifting from an old leadership model where we were machines to a new leadership model where we are living and leading as water. So, if this episode made you think or made you feel something, that is good. Because energy moves when you pay attention to it. That's why we're here. Please subscribe to the book or subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next episode. And if you have a leader in your organization or in the world that you would like him or her to know about this, please give them the link so you can have a discussion with them about this topic. You'll find the book and my ways of working with me in the description below or at my website, which is energeticleadership.eu. Until next time, lead with energy.